I'm Catherine. This is Zach.
Hello.
We're from RoseyRavelston Books. This is our third review of what we've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start?
I will start. I've read this a while ago, but I reread it again not long ago. It's called Still Alive by Safdar Ahmed. Really interesting story with this one. Safdar himself, I think, grew up in Hazelbrook, so just down the road from us. I don't know if he grew up here, but he certainly lived here for some time. So he is a bit of a local to us. Really important book for both Catherine and I as well, because it's written from the view of refugees and asylum seekers within immigration detention in the Australian system. So some of it based in detention systems in Australia, but also some of it based on Manus Island, Nauru. And Catherine worked on Nauru and Manus Island, and I worked on Manus Island as well, support workers. So this is really hit quite hard. And I think a lot of the drawings are actually done, or at least inspired by the people who were in those camps as well. It's very powerful book. The illustrations are incredible, very, very moving and powerful. Anyone who wants to get a bit of a look into what Australia's immigration detention centres really look like, especially because it's very hard to know that because there's very limited access to those centres. But if you do want to get a feel for it, this is a very highly recommended book. It's a must read. It is powerful, it's quite full on, but it's got some really important stories in there, and it really helps to humanise the people who are stuck indefinitely in these Australian prison camps.
So it's a graphic novel.
It is a graphic novel. Incredible graphics as well, I think. I certainly couldn't draw like that to save myself. And I know I've used the word powerful 3 times already, but I'm going to use it again.
Is it powerful?
It's very powerful. Highly, highly recommended.
We're hoping to get him to do an author talk, right?
We've been in touch with Safdar. We will get him to come up and do an author talk at some stage too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And we have, just to do a little promo, we do have heaps of books and a few graphic novels and even children's books on like refugees and their journeys and people seeking asylum, because it's something we're really passionate about.
Absolutely.
And happy to chat about too if anyone wants to come
Anytime.
visit the shop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you, Kath?
Well, I mean, it's
something as powerful as.
I wouldn't say it was powerful. I really enjoyed it, but it definitely is. Maybe I should have started. I read Andrew Pippos, I think. Lucky. So he's a Sydney author, and he grew up. The author himself, he grew up in a Greek Australian sort of cafe. And so he's drawn on that, and the story's about someone called Lucky. That's their nickname, and it follows their journey. And he has a bunch of franchises throughout Australia, especially in Sydney, that do really well in an institution in Australia, and everyone knows them. And then he loses all his money and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not spoiling it, but it's sort of his journey and his ups and downs. And he has some really awful stuff happen to him and some great stuff. And then there's on the other side, there's someone writing a New Yorker article about the franchise, and then it all ends up being intertwined. Look, I really liked it. Part of the reason I read it, I had a couple of friends who loved it, and then I'm part of ABC Book Club, and someone just absolutely hammered it. They're like, honestly, they sledged it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they hated it. They hated it, and they're like,
Took a sledgehammer to it.
They that's an understatement. They're like, I hated it. It was so boring. And I thought, well, I've got to read this now. And I really enjoyed it. I think if you want something really fast-paced and full of action, it's not the book for you. But it doesn't need to be, because I felt it was one of those books, when you get to know the characters and they do something and you're like, oh, that is classic Lucky. Like, of course you're going to do that. And you don't feel, you get to know them. Like, I think he really sets the scene. And it's his first book, which, I mean, I think is really impressive. So, Lucky's by Andrew Pippos.
So Lucky's is the name of the
the franchise, but he is called Lucky.
So I just want to check, is the apostrophe in the right place? Because I know how particular you
are
with
don't
this
worry.
when it comes to businesses.
I would not have read it if there was no apostrophe.
Okay, good.
Don't
just
worry
checking.
about that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's us, for this
For
week.
now, I think,
Yeah, we'll keep doing these every week or so, and
Please leave some comments.
Yeah. Did you read it? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Do you think it's powerful? That's what I want to know.
I've heard that book's really powerful.
It's quite powerful.
Yeah, it's quite powerful.
Excellent. Thanks.